G'day, folks. Welcome to Long Live Rock, where me, lad from the woods, reacts to new classic rock from bands of the past and new classic rock from the bands of today. Let's rock! Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Long Live Rock with Lad from the Woods. All right. Well, we're into one of my favorite songwriters, guitarists, the whole thing. It's Lindsey Buckingham, originally from Fleetwood Mac. They've separated, not the first time that's happened, but anyways, when you hear Lindsey Buckingham, you still hear Fleetwood Mac, and when you hear Fleetwood Mac, his influence is still there. He released a solo album back last year, and the album's called simply Lindsey Buckingham. We've done 2 songs off it. They're further back, in time there on the YouTube machine. Anyways, this one's called Santa Rosa off the same said album, which this song was put up September 16th, 2021. And like all Lindsey Buckingham songs, it's got those little hooky, guitar sounds and all the other little things he does. So it's just kind of more of a laid back, but then of course his trademark voice, right? So anyways, I think enough on that. Listen, just remind you at the start here, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to be updated for the music and the other like, share stuff, whatever. It helps build the channel. We've been getting more people, so it's cool. And if you want to help me out in the channel, there's links down in the description to make donations and what have you. All right, let's get on with Lindsey. You close your eyes, you'd almost think it was Fleetwood Mac. The drumming, I think Mick might do it probably exactly the same, but just with a bit of a heavier sound, maybe. And of course, when they sing the chorus, you could just hear, you don't hear Stevie Nicks, but what I'm saying is you could hear that being sung by Christine and him and blah, 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 Stevie, yeah. Fleetwood Mac and Lindsey Buckingham, you guys need to be kissing and making up. The funny part is I almost think he released some of his best songs, that should have been a Fleetwood Mac. If they'd done a proper new Fleetwood Mac album, I think it should be a pretty good one there's more songs we're going to be doing, but it's good stuff. It really is, if you like Fleetwood Mac. All right, let's get back to Mr. Lindsey.
If you go to Santa Rosa, if you go
Hey, how'd you enjoy that? Pretty good. If you're a Fleetwood Mac or Lindsey Buckingham fan, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't like this. And for me, this is definitely going to be summer, because it's got the Southern California sound. The Eagles, that whole sound from that time, the band America, and so on. And of course, Fleetwood Mac was part of that sound. I mean, for me, it's it's just kind of it was that sound. And well, this song, I mean, Santa Rosa. I mean, it's perfect. So, but that one will definitely be in my. It'll be getting played a lot there. Driving out to campgrounds and around the campfires or over to the beach at Lake Huron, or if I'm lucky, the gas seems to be going down. And I said, well, if it's over $1.50 a liter, averaged out between here and Vancouver Island, then I would go. But if it goes over $1.50, then I can't go. I just can't afford it. And I would just stay closer to home and go to Georgian Bay, Lake Huron. Anyways, that's all in the future because it's only like April. And I think the middle of the month's this week. But it's going to be planting time soon, so I've got to be busy with that. Fishing season's opening up here in a couple of weeks, so there's that. And then, of course, there's the big Canadian long weekend coming up. Not this Easter, coming in a couple of days, but what we call the May 2-4 weekend or Victoria Day weekend. And so I don't know what's happening yet. Probably a lot of fishing and depends who shows up here, a campfire and carrying on and drinking. So anyway, we'll worry about that in the future. Keep just doing music now, okay? So I'm kind of in a laid-back music mode tonight, and I'm kind of hoping that whatever's up next in the list isn't going to be too much rock and roll, because I'm just not in the mood. I know one thing for sure is I see the camera moving, and I think it's because I'm sitting directly on my futon, which is set up like a couch. Mostly what I do, or not all the time normally, what I do is I put a pillow underneath, so that makes me sit higher, and it seems to be better for the camera, but it seems to isolate me too from bouncing the camera around, which is bouncing you around. So, and, it's just not an ideal situation, but we're headed in the right direction. So the well gets turned on, at least the cold water tomorrow, probably the hot water. Then I can now continue on with the next stuff. And I'm going to pick something so it's a better situation, to do this. All right. Well, listen, thanks for coming. I don't know if you really want to try and figure out what his influences are. You'd probably have to look that up and see what he's talked about over the last 50 years. But I just say Lindsey Buckingham influenced himself. I know that's not quite accurate, but it's hard to think. Like me, I think in the terms like who today is like Lindsey Buckingham. And I'm sure there's a few out there that have taken from his sound and made it their own, whatever. But I haven't heard it yet myself. But anyways, you guys get the point. So. All right, well, I said thanks for coming already. Again, I'll say please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to push that little bell doohickey, then that means you'll know when I put a new video up. And what's the other one? Oh, yeah, and then if you guys want to help out the channel, there's always up things. I've got a blown tweeter over here, blown subwoofer over here. I don't even want to look at that speaker and find out what's going, and it's just like, wow, I need to do that. So anyways, I always appreciate the help. So what else? I guess that's it, right? Yeah. On to the next song. Long live. Okay, how am I doing this again? Because I said we're not just playing new rock and roll. New rock and roll, okay, and then new classic era music from the 60s and 70s, but from new bands. I wish there was just one label for it all, like it used to be. Anyway, I don't know why I'm getting myself involved with this. It's because I got a good buzz on, and I'm thinking, I just would like to have like one little tagline on the way out, kind of like a wrestling gimmick, like The Rock used to say, it just smell, what you're cooking. But I can't think of anything that would encompass the entire 60s and 70s sound, maybe into the 80s. We just called it rock and roll or music, new music. But now everybody's like, oh, that's classic rock, or it's this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. But we didn't call it then because it was new to us. But I mean, today's music don't sound like that. So when I hear a new band making that, that's what the channel's all about. Go figure. But I mean, it's I hate to give people the wrong impression. It's like always just rock and roll, because it's not. I mean, we didn't just listen to rock and roll. It wasn't like that back then. You got all kinds of exposure. Not like today, or even a few years back when radio stations, you have like a rap station, blues station, country station. I mean, kids would go to their thing and then that's it. They wouldn't get the exposure. But on rock stations in our time were new music stations. I mean, we got to hear everything, because one night, Sunday night would be like a night that, you might get a guy doing jazz and blues like they used to in Ottawa. Montreal would have like, Pink Floyd kind of music Sunday nights, Saturday. So, I mean, and then even each station kind of had their own sound of music that they were playing. But anyways, there wasn't like back then it was just an FM station. You didn't even call it a rock station. I mean, it was just an FM station. Like in Detroit, there was W4 FM station. I never called it a rock station back then. None of us did. There's the other one there that was the big one, not Riff in Detroit, WRIF. No, it's the other one that's older. I don't remember. I mean, we didn't call them rock stations. It just didn't. Now, there were stations starting to sprout up back then in the early 70s that were specifically for a type of music. But the big stations that had all the listeners and the big advertising counts, I'm sure, they were ones that were, a whole slate of stuff. So Shea 106 here in Ottawa, I mean, they didn't get started till later, mid-70s, but I mean, they were the biggest station, and then they eventually started calling themselves a rock station. But I mean, they were just an FM station that played all kinds of stuff. So, we were more exposed to all kinds of stuff. And of course, you start gelling that music together, right? Like, you come up with these new sounds, and that doesn't seem to happen like it used to. Now, this music that we're starting to review, it seems like the kids especially seem to understand that connection. Greta Van Fleet being a perfect example. They understand that they have to go to a foundation. And Led Zeppelin went to a foundation. It was the hard blues back then. So they weren't copying Hound Dog Taylor or, Howlin' Wolf or whatever. They were taking his music and then making it theirs. So you could not mistake the two of them. Well, it's the same thing. Okay. Well, you could mistake. You hear that sound, but they made it poorer. Greta Van Fleet is the same thing, okay? And I mean, he'll, what is it, Jake? No, whichever one's on guitar, not Jake, it's the other one. He says his biggest influence in guitar playing and music is, believe it or not, Pete Townshend from The Who. Now, I don't say that with surprise, because any Who fan will tell you that Pete Townshend's one of the best, probably in the top 5 guitarists. Because he doesn't stand out like Hendrix or whatever. There's all kinds of other stuff. I mean, it takes 2 guitarists in the Rolling Stones to do what Pete does by himself. What he used to do by himself now, he has to have he's layered his music better. But I mean, he has his brother on rhythm now. But I mean, before, Pete did it all by himself. Anyway, long story short of it is, that's his biggest influence. And I don't hear that all the time in all the songs, but I do hear it in some of the songs. Like I hear Led Zeppelin. I'm hearing Humble Pie in these kids, Greta Van Fleet. So I'm hearing it. Anybody that's older that remembers Humble Pie, you can't but help hear that sound too. So, and probably a dozen other things. Anyway, wow, this video is getting really long. 15 minutes. Peace, long live, far out. See you later next video. Sorry, guys.